Hello lovely people, it's Cara here and I am so mad. And today I'm finally going to bring to you the review of my Atelier Jupe collection of clothes. I've been making the Atelier Jupe sort of patterns over the last few, probably weeks and months actually, but not a huge amount of time. And in no particular order, I wanted to take you through my thoughts and what I've made. I think you would have seen some of these over on my Instagram channel. If you haven't followed me there, I'd love to see you over there. I'll put the details on the screen right now. But I share sort of daily makes and things like that, or daily, what I'm wearing daily. So Atelier Jupe, it's amazing, isn't it? Just every now and again, a pattern company comes onto the scene that really ticks all the boxes for you as an individual. I'd say Frieda Pattern Company is ticking a lot of boxes for a lot of people right now, but Atelier Jupe has also just come along and they've made some really lovely simple lines, bang on trend things to wear, which just have caught my attention enormously. Absolutely influenced by a number of other YouTubers. So Andrea, Beyond the Pink Door, massive fan of the Frieda blouse, which is the first thing I'm wearing here now, and utterly, totally influenced by her every week actually. So thank you, Andrea, in a good way, of course. And then Rach and Stitched Up, she made the Frieda blouse as well. And then I suppose that just piqued our interest as a sewing community in what else they might produce. And our Atelier Jupe actually produce fabrics as well as patterns. Now I haven't been in this situation where I could invest in their fabrics, but they are heavenly. There's a couple from the last collection that I definitely could see in my life. There's the new caftan pattern. They've got these sort of blues and pinks and greens. It's like quite an abstract design fabric. That is one I've been lusting after, but it's actually out of stock at the moment, I think. So yeah, but I wanted to take you through the collection that I've made. Now I'll talk you through what I thought of how to make them and any fit adjustments I've had to make. I haven't got the measurements in front of me here. As far as I'm aware, they're quite a size inclusive company. I've certainly seen a full range of availability for people, but it's not my thing reading out the sizes, so I hope that's okay with you because I haven't got them here. It's just not my thing to read that out. But these are no particular order. In true Cara style, I've literally put them over on my new little sofa here. I'm in the summer house again today, as you can see. We've got sun going in and out, my husband's just come home, all the usual chaos that's going on, but I wanted to give some quality time to these beautiful patterns. So this is the Atelier Jupe Frieda blouse, and I'm sure you've seen lots of these. I love it how a pattern does the rounds. I know the saltwater slip is doing the rounds at the moment, but that's not one for me because I don't think, but never say never. But anyway, back to the point in case. So Frieda blouse, it's a really sweet blouse. It's got 3/4 length sleeves here that are gathered into a cuff. Well, not gathered so much, you've got a pleat that sits here. I hope you can see that on both sides. It's a lovely way of finishing a hem edge, just much more consistent finish. I love this. So I'm standing in close so you can see the detail. You've got this lovely yoke that sits angular across here with some very gentle gathering. I'm not a fan of collars anyway. So this beautiful, I don't know what you call that really. This way of finishing the collar edge is just lovely. If I turn round, I think you can just about. There is obviously a yoke detail there, and you've got some gathering, I think, or it might be a pleat into the back. I just love this, I really do. It's got buttons down the front here. I like my buttons, they look like dollops of lemon curd, I think. Just buttons I had in my stash. Now if I stand here, I know you can't see my head, which is never a bad thing. I'll talk to you about some of the fit adjustments I made. I'll put a photo in here. I took a photo on my Instagram account, longer or shorter, because actually this came down to probably about there on me, so kind of mid-thigh. You've got a husband looking through the window, luckily you can't see him. And I was longer or shorter. Now I'm not a tuck-in person, so there's my waistline, that's the top of my trousers. I'm not a tuck-in kind of person in, but I am almost like a lazy sewer. So in the end, I just folded it up, so you can see there. Oh, that's just great, isn't it? You got someone banging and crashing now. Just to start videoing. I may have to stop. But yeah, so you got that's how much I've turned it up by. And you know what? I'm going to sit back down. But I am. I've said this before. I'm an honest sewer. And by that I mean I'll tell you what I do, and literally after all the effort of hemming and finishing the blouse, you then put it on and you discover you want to make a tweak. I am not about making that a long process. I'm a find a shortcut kind of girl, so I literally just folded it up to a suitable point, keeping the buttons equidistant, and then hemmed it. I also did the same as it's quite a common theme actually. As I said in a few videos, I've had to take the sleeves in as well. Now I need to remember to change the pattern for that, because the alteration I do for that is literally just to bring it in at the arms, and I know a lot of you do too, because you are honest enough with me to say that. And it doesn't take long to do, does it? I also took this in quite a bit at the sides. I say probably a good ½ inch on both sides. Just again because that's my style, but I do remember Andrea saying she sized down on hers, and I think I would probably do the same next time. I say that I'm the world's worst at actually remembering to make the adjustments to the pattern that I've made in person, you know. And actually because sometimes the fabric comes, you know, depending on what fabric you're working with, the pattern can look very different, can't it? So hang on, I've got to whip it at the door wanting to come in. Hang on a second. You alright, Papa? You can't be seen, I don't think. You're a bit... I'm going to whip it here. Yeah? Oh! It's always all go, as you know, in this house. It's all about the whippets, and actually our summer house, the whippets are completely addicted to. So she's sort of sneezing and snorting there. Sorry. Distracted. Yeah, so I absolutely adore this. I made this using an Itokri fabric. Now Itokri is a wonderful fabric company based in India. Their service is phenomenal. When I ordered, which must be a good 2 or 3 years ago, so I've got the door open now, so I hope you can hear me okay. I may have to pull that through in a second. I bought this a good 3 years ago, I'd say, and the service was amazing. I have got a video over on my channel about the Itokri service if you want to have a look at that. But it's just a glorious lightweight cotton, which I think is perfect. So my overall thoughts on this pattern, I love it, and Andrea did the most amazing sew along for this, so thank you Andrea from Beyond the Pink Door. In fact, I watched Andrea's sew along and didn't actually use the instructions, because she uses a double yoke in order to use the burrito method, which means it's beautifully finished on the inside, and because so actually the blouse itself sits more like that on other people, and as you know I prefer an open neckline. So I've actually ironed those, and on one stage I actually stitched them down, but I think it's going to sit naturally like that. So that's actually how it looks. But because of the fact that I wanted to open, with Andrea adding the additional yoke here, it means that it's basically self-lined, which is lovely. Pattern's really easy, it's very beginner friendly I think. There are some techniques in there that might be a bit of a head twister because of the burrito method and things, but it's such a simple way to finish the edge of a shirt, and there's obviously no trickiness of a collar. I think you don't need to add buttons. If you didn't want to, you could just stitch the buttons or the button placket down, because it does go over your head if you wanted it to. I have done proper buttons on here, but if you didn't want to, I don't think that would matter. and it's just a lovely project to have. I think this really lovely length of sleeves on here, and I could definitely see more of these in my wardrobe without question. I've got it on today with my wide leg dawn jeans, which I made a few years ago, and I have worn this blouse to work as well as at home, because you can dress it up a little bit. I wear it with navy trousers. I think I'll put a picture in here. You can see I've got navy trousers on there, and it's definitely work appropriate, which is lovely. So yes, that's my thoughts on the Atelier Jupe Frieda blouse, and I'm going to change into the next one, and I'll share my thoughts on that with you. Okay, next up we've got a dress. And it's funny, you know, quite often in my videos I talk about the fact that I don't wear a lot of dresses, and yet the next 3 patterns are all dresses. So note to self, yes, you do wear dresses, Cara. Now this is the Atelier Jupe Charlotte and Lou dress stroke top. So you can actually make this into just a lovely simple top, as well as the dress, which is what I've made. Now I'm going to put some pictures up, but you know that I'm going to stand up in a second because I can't help myself. So I got this pattern, now I'm going to have to stand up because I can't show you otherwise. I got this because of this channel. I was really curious about how you could bring in what is essentially a simple shift dress, and I really wanted to see, naively I suppose, how this would work out. And I think I had in my mind that it was going to be more like on the heron dress. I forgot the name of, is that the Revive? Oh no, I've forgotten the name of the company. But the heron dress has actually got a channel that is inside, and then the belt pops out. And I think that's what I had in mind when when I bought this pattern, but actually it turns out it's way simpler than that. It's literally a rectangle of fabric stitched over the top of it, and I just really like the fact that it cinches it in, and you don't have to worry about remembering where you've put the belt and things like that. It's, you know, integral to the dress. The Charlotte dress itself is just incredibly simple, straight up, straight down shift dress. I will put the image, the stock photo here, but I love the fact that it's cinched in at the waist. For the eagle-eyed amongst you, be like, your neckline looks completely different to the one in the picture there, and that's because I prefer an open neck. It's just my style. It's got quite a high neck on it, and I just knew that I would want to change that. So sorry that the review isn't completely true to the design of the dress, but it was incredibly easy to do. And this neckline here is from the Bottine dress from Tilly and the Buttons, and just like the original pattern, I added a facing to the neck. This dress is a very simple make. It has a number of options. As I say, it comes with a dress as well as a top, and also you've got the option of fluted sleeves on the dress or top as well. Now, because of the style of the fabric that I'm using, this is another, it's bizarre, isn't it? It's like an Itokri fabric haul. This fabric has sat in my stash for the 3 years, the same as the Itokri blouse. That's right, the Frieda blouse. This is from Itokri as well. It has no drape to it, it's just an iCat cotton, but I figured such a simple style of dress would really work with this fabric. And then I added a coordinating ribbon which picks out the orange in the iCat fabric, which, yeah, just a nice touch really. Because I wanted to, I was just curious about the construction of this one. It's a style that I've worn it to work. And do you know what? Actually, it's quite freeing to wear dresses, especially on warm days. And I do love a dress because it's an outfit in one, isn't it? I didn't make any adjustments to this, I don't think, other than obviously the neckline. Yeah, changed that quite a bit. But I really like the simple sort of short sleeved of it. It's not exactly a cap sleeve. It's enough to cover the top of the arms that a lot of people want to keep covered. It comes, and I don't think you're going to see it if I stand up. No, it comes just to my knee, which is a really nice length. I will put some footage of me. I think in the footage, I'm actually upstairs in my hallway, so it's not the most glamorous footage. It was raining on the day that I made this one. It's sunny actually, so outside, so maybe I'll put some footage of me walking around in my garden or something, I'm not sure. But a really straightforward, simple make. You could definitely, if you wanted a very quick dress for an occasion, this would be one to go for. And the simplicity of the waist tie there works really well, I think. As I say, I bought it because I wanted to learn from it more than the style of it itself, but definitely will wear it, although it's not something, honestly, it isn't a pattern I'm going to reach for a lot, I don't think, particularly as I've already got a bottine or two in my wardrobe, and it's very similar to that. But it's a lovely make nonetheless. The pattern instructions for all of these patterns, they come in, I think it's 4 different languages and English, so I use the PDFs. So if you were to buy the paper pattern, you'd get a lovely booklet, and obviously English is one of the languages in it. I use the PDF, and on my screen it's the last language on the screen, which is absolutely fine. They give you some lovely hints and tips throughout the process, and the instructions for me have been really clear and easy to work with. I think on the next dress I'm going to talk to you about, there is a bit of a tricky spot on that one, but I'll talk you through that in a moment. But yeah, just a really nice. I think you would need to have some sewing experience using the Atelier Jupe patterns. They're not tilling the buttons style instructions. They are drawing illustrated as opposed to pictures. So for some people I think that would work, and others not so well. But I certainly haven't had any issues making any of these items. I was obviously very much helped by the sew along from Andrea. And Rach from Stitched Up did a live sew along as well, but I haven't had a chance to watch that. I'm sure it's very good. Yeah, so nothing more to say on this one. I hope you can see in the picture actually, it's got the most gorgeous curved hemline, which is the other thing I really like. I'm looking at it, I know you can't see it, but it is a really gentle curve on both sides, and then it sort of splits. So if you imagine that's the side there, you sort of got that at the side, which is really nice. I think that's a really nice simple feature, and I think this in a drapey fabric with the flutter sleeves would be a really super addition to anybody's wardrobe. Very, very nice. But yeah, this is I'm gonna have to put on the screen what size I made. I do remember from the Atelier, when you print out the Atelier Jupe patterns, the size you make doesn't stay on it, and there's no size guide on the PDF once you've printed it out. So I actually am going to struggle to tell you what size I made, but if I remember, I will put up in here which sizes I made of all of these. I'm sorry, that's really frustrating, isn't it? I'll maybe try and put it in the blurb as well to remind you about that. But yeah, another super little dress, the Charlotte and Lou dress stroke top pattern from Atelier Jupe. It's lovely. Do you know, it's quite an interesting thing to do. So here I am sitting in my summer house changing into the different outfits. Honestly, the life of a sewing YouTuber, it's very unglamorous, but it's really interesting to put them on one after another and see the differences. Obviously I'm looking in my camera now thinking, have I managed to get dressed properly? But the similarities between the whole collection, actually, I think there's something like 19 patterns in the collection, and there are some similarities that follow through. So this is the this is the Olivia dress, and you can see here that it's got a very similar style collar on the top there, and then the similarity with the Frieda blouse in general actually is the sleeves here with a little cuff on it. It was just feeling a bit uncomfortable. I'm not sure why. I think I maybe have put it on differently. That's right, it's right now. And then if you see, so this one has got, so the Frieda is a full blouse. This is the Olivia dress. I know you can't see it very well, but I'll put some footage of me in next to me somewhere. And then it's got a button placket. So obviously the button placket is this bit here, and it stops there. So it stops below your boobs really, what it does on me. So it's a really quite plunging placket. It's I definitely size down on this one, so it's not close fitting, but it's loose fitting. It's not like really wafty. You've got raglan sleeves on this one. Maybe I'll sit down and show you that. So you've got a beautiful raglan sleeve. I can't remember what the sleeve was on the Frieda. Let me grab my Frieda back and have a look. What sort of sleeve did we have on this one? Oh, so that's not raglan there. That's just a sleeve insertion. Whereas this one is a raglan, so you can see. I'm gonna sneeze. See the sleeve here. Excuse me. And so it's got so it's what they call a popover placket. I decided to put poppers on mine just because that's what I had in my stash. Now the fabric itself does sit a bit funny just here. Well, do you know what? You probably can't notice that, so I don't know why I managed to say that. But I preferred this. So I actually wanted to make the Olivia first. I bought the Olivia first. I think I bought the Charlotte Lou dress because I liked the waist tie and thought I might need to add a waist tie to this one. But I bought this one because of more open neckline, so that is actually how it sits. And again, you could iron it so that it sits more open like that. But there's no yoke in this one, so you've got raglan sleeves here, and then it's the same kind of neck binding finish, if you like. I don't know how you describe that. And the whole thing is gathered into the neckline, so across the back and across the sides here. Sorry, my husband's rustling outside, so that's not too annoying. And then I'm going to show you actually, because there are lots of similarities, as I said, but it's the same sort of curve on the waist, on the hem as it is. It's not quite as accentuated as that. I hope you can see that. You can see there the edges there. I don't know what my husband's doing, but he's rustling like mad outside. So it's a little frustrating. Hopefully you can't hear that as loudly as I can. But yes, it's just really nice finishes on that. I really like the style of this. This is a fabric that I got from, so I'm going to sitting on the dress too much. It's my fault for putting it on here and then turning the camera on and not getting myself straight. I bought this fabric from Rainbow Fabrics a long time ago, so sorry it won't be available. And this is actually quite a heavyweight viscose, but it's got a lovely amount of drape about it. It's actually a little bit linen-esque. Hang on a second. I'll tell you what, you've got to love a husband that loves doing housework, but seriously, I'm trying to record here. Come on. Sorry about that. Sweeping the water and changing the bins. Sometimes he hoovers. I mean, what can you do? Sorry. Oh my word. Where was I? Yes, the fabric recommendations for this one would be something with some drape. I think would be really nice. But actually, I think you could also wear it with something that was quite stable as well. And you'd get a different look, wouldn't you? You'd get a different finish on each one, which would be good fun. But I really do like this. Now let me button it up for you so you actually see. As I say, I use poppers just because, do you know what? I've recently discovered just how brilliant poppers are. If I come right in, so you can see it is a close finish neckline, but for some people, let me just hover down a little bit, for some people that's exactly what they're looking for. For other people like myself, let me just pull my dress up a little bit so I can sit down again, I prefer more of an open neckline, as I said. So and I think again, if you wanted to, you wouldn't need to put buttons on. If you wanted to, you could literally finish it, stitch it there, and then just pull it over your head if you wanted to, depending on whether you're a button kind of person or not. I found the instructions for this placket odd. I don't have a lot of experience in doing button plackets, popover plackets. In fact, I should have got the instructions out for the Cali shirt, because the Cali shirt has an option for a placket just like this, a popover placket. and I've made that and don't remember having any issues. The issues came with the bottom bit here. I'm pointing to it, I know you probably can't see that, but how they have you do it, sort of have you fold it in on itself and then stitch it across. I don't know, I had a lot going on at the time when I was making it, I'll be honest, so maybe that didn't help my scenario, but I couldn't fathom it out. And I know Andrea, in one of her lives, I think it was, said she was going to be making one. Oh no, she has made one, hasn't she? But she was going to do a sew along and show her way of doing that. I don't think I'd made this when she said that, and I was like, oh, I hope that's coming soon. But naturally, I was too impatient to wait for that, so I fathomed it out myself. So how I finished this isn't probably the same as how they finished it, because in other words, mine is finished on the outside, and like I've put it into a little V at the end and stitched it across, which I think is what I did for the Callie shirt. Their instructions look like they have you finishing the placket on the inside, because yeah, from memory, you cut this out in one piece, and then you would have to, because there's no seam at the bottom, and then obviously you cut the hole, you make an incision, if you like, where the placket's going to go. So effectively at the bottom of it, you could either pop your placket in or pop your placket out, and I think they have it going on the inside, but so just a heads up on that, I didn't find that as straightforward as I could, and I think you could have probably read some different alternative instructions to help you through that. But I did just find my way through it. It's not difficult, it just didn't flow as easily as some of the things could. The sleeve length on this sits right at my elbow, so it does just sit above the elbow, which is fine. So it gives that sort of slightly blousey effect, which is really lovely. I think, and I don't have a favourite if I'm honest, but I think this is up there. I think the Joy, I keep calling it the Joy, I call everything the Joy, what's wrong with me? Every time I look at this, I think it's called the Joy dress. Every time I look at the shirt, I think it's called the Joy dress. I think for me, this feels much more work attire. And as I've spoken about many times in my videos, once I think something is work attire, I find it really difficult to wear for casual, because I feel like I'm at work. So for me, I think this feels more worky, and I really like the fact that I'm quite safely call this casual, although it's not, obviously, it's quite a formal look. Because it's got raglan sleeves, I'm just trying to think where the so yeah, because of raglan sleeves, it's not such a, it's more of a drop shoulder finish, isn't it? Of course it is. So that's something to consider. I'm just looking at the roundness here, and that's what creates that. But it's a super comfy, and I wore it in I featured this in a recent video about my capsule wardrobe for my recent holiday. So I will put some pictures here of me in a lovely town called Montpazier. And isn't that the wonderful thing? If you make something for your holiday, you'll always think of your holiday when you're wearing it in future occasions. And certainly sitting here now, I feel like I could be in Montpazier wearing this, which is great fun. But I love this dress, definitely can see more of these in my world. And the fabric I bought in Montpazier, I think I am going to turn that into one of these, just because it's a super relaxing dress to wear, which is lovely. Sometimes you feel you put a dress on and you feel sort of dressy, but actually I feel quite relaxed. This is more like a jeans version of a sort of jeans style outfit for me. I can genuinely wear this and feel quite relaxed and comfortable, which is super. So one more to go. Let me get changed, and whilst I'm changing, don't forget to hit the like button, please. And I would love it if you if you would subscribe if you haven't already. I've had some lovely comments recently, and I do genuinely respond to every comment. So please take a moment to write me a comment. That would be great. And hit the old like and subscribe. Let me change into the last one. Back in a sec. Okay, so here I am in the last of the Atelier Jupe outfits I've made, and this is the Tilda dress. We'll have to put some footage here because you'll never see this, because it's a full-length dress right down to my ankles. I made this using a viscose that I bought from Fabric Godmother in a remnant sale. love the pattern on this dress. Love this dress. Actually, this dress came about because of a, you know how you get spammed on Instagram, so my hair's gone a bit mad. You get spammed on Instagram, and this here is the dress that I kept getting spammed on. I think it's by a company called Snapdragon or something. So then I put on to the Fold Line Facebook group. Did anybody have any pattern recommendations? And Ali Sohn over on Instagram mentioned that she'd just made the Tilda dress, and saw the pattern, thought, yeah, you know, I like the Atelier Jupe style, so let's have a go at making that. And then this fabric came up as a remnant. In fact, I think it might have been over Easter weekend or something like that, where Fabric Godmother had discount on their patterns and fabrics, and the discount also worked on their PDF patterns. So I snapped up all of the patterns that you see here at that event. But let me show you a little bit more about the dress. This Tilda dress, there are a number of options with this. You've got a hidden button placket or a standard button placket. I went for the standard button placket, not that you can see it because of the busyness of the pattern, but just the standard one. Again, you've got the signature collar finish here as well. Now I've left the belt off here so you can see the fit. I'm really sorry you can't see full length image, but I will take some footage of with and without the belt. And then if I pop the belt on, you'll see that I didn't do a waist channel or anything like that on this one. Let me just show you. There we go. And then it's just cinches it in, which is really nice. So you could probably blouse it up a little bit if you wanted to as well. I really like the neckline on this one. It actually sits quite open, so it's probably the most open of the three designs, and that's probably what I was looking for more. I have actually put the first button quite low down, so it's actually pretty much on the apex here, and that's in order to help create that open neckline, which you know I like. I really love this pattern. I didn't choose a very easy fabric to work with. This viscose moved a lot when I was cutting it out. So there isn't some of my finest sewing in the collar in particular. Now you can't see it, so I don't even know why I tell you that, but it did move around a lot. So the collar isn't as accurate as it could be in places because my cutting out was really tricky, and I used every ounce of this beautiful fabric to make this dress, which I adore. I also made some alterations, and I actually did a little sort of Instagram voting thing, which was really sweet, because I was like, long or short. So I'll put the picture here. So this is what the sleeve looked like without any adapting. So super long, they comes with long sleeves, and finished into a beautiful little cuff. For me, once again, the cuff was enormous, so that was never going to be a keeper. Hang on a second. So my lovely husband wanting to do the hot tub and turn the pump on and stuff, but the hot tub is right there. So bless him, he's just going to wait for a minute whilst I finish my review. Gotta love him. So the sleeves, they'll come right down here, and then I put some photos on Instagram, and unanimously people said short. There were a couple of variations to that, so I remember Alex Judge and a few other people saying keep them long and then roll them up. But actually this fabric is not that you'd have seen that on Instagram, but it's white on the inside. So when I was rolling the sleeves up, and because as I'll explain in a moment, I'd adapted the sleeve, you couldn't roll it up because the sleeves just are a funny colour on the other side, and that would have really detracted from what the overall look, I think. But it was hard for people to see that on Instagram, and I just kept pushing my sleeves up anyway to this length. So in the end, I just did it, I went for it, and I cut the sleeves to very similar lengths to the Olivia there. And I actually added elastic, which when I'm sitting here now, the elastic isn't long enough, which is really annoying. So I'm going to have to take that out actually, because it's actually cutting me off on my arms a little bit more than I remember it doing. Gosh, it's difficult, isn't it, when
you want to get something finished, you want to get it all done, and then you make a change, and then you put it back on again and realise it's too tight. I went for the standard button placket, and I actually went for poppers again. These are really cute, bright red poppers, or sort of orangey red, aren't they? Which really coordinated well. And I wish you could see, I don't think you can see. I actually have gone, it looks a bit more daring than it is. The last popper I actually put just above my knee, so the bottom of the dress is actually quite open. I'll try and show that in a picture that I take, because I don't think I've taken any pictures of this yet. Sorry, my hair's gone really fluffy. I absolutely love this dress. In comparison to the Olivia and the Charlotte, there's a lot more work in this. Naturally, it's a much bigger dress. I'm really pleased I made it. I think actually there are similarities with the Instagram dress that kept haunting me, and I need to remember to reach for it. It's one of those things, you know, I make something out of a beautiful fabric, and then sometimes I don't wear them. Are you like that? I'm sort of like I live in fear of how lovely it is. So I really like it. It's a very busy pattern, but yeah, I really enjoy making this, and I used every scrap. In fact, actually, the dress came out super long, like actually past my ankles long, so I hacked off the bottom. I did actually just hack it. I didn't even cut it, I hacked it. Just being honest with you there, because I was frustrated, I think, with some of the things that were going on, and that just happens to me sometimes. I'm like, I just want to get a project finished, so I hacked off the bottom. But luckily then, I had already cut out the belt, to be fair, but actually the amount I took off the bottom was perfect to use to make the waist tie out of, so nothing lost there, which was fine. But no, the instructions for this were really good, really simple, and it's an indication of how far my sewing has come on, because I could put this together really not without looking at the instructions too much, which is a nice feel. We're back to inserting sleeves here. This is that's the shoulder seam. It is slightly dropped shoulders, you can see there. I think that's the style of it. I don't, if I'd made it any smaller, I'm really pleased with the size it came out, but it is a drop shoulder style, not the raglan sleeve there. Yeah, it came together really well. I'm really pleased with the changes. The interfacing I've used in the button placket is a horrible cheap interfacing, so I'm going to need to wash the dress for the button placket to actually sit a bit flatter. It actually sits out from me a little bit at the moment because it's a really papery interfacing, but that's what I had. But that will soften up completely once I've washed it, and I hope it doesn't need ironing too much, because you know I don't like to iron anything. But I really like it, and having made this one last, I said I didn't use the instructions a lot. Obviously there's some massive similarities between all three of the dresses that I've made, and obviously the neckline of the Frieda there. But I just love it, and they just released some more patterns. I absolutely adore the caftan style of one of them. Oh, I could definitely see me making that one up, so I might look out for some sales over the Jubilee weekend or something, and see if I can snap that one up. But I hope you've enjoyed seeing my sort of collection of Atelier makes. I hope that gives you some inspiration around the fabric choices. This shirt would be lovely. I think a drapey fabric is the best way to go in this, but again, obviously something stable would be lovely, just get a different look. But I hope you've enjoyed seeing my collection of Atelier Jupe patterns. I've certainly loved making them, and I'm going to absolutely love wearing them. So I hope you stay safe and well. Don't forget to please like and subscribe, and leave me a comment. I always really appreciate that. And I look forward to seeing you next time, everyone. Take care, bye bye. Stay safe and well. Take care, bye bye.